I spent years trying to become a better person, and I think I did it too late. I don't really know where to start, so I'll start with the moment I realized something was wrong. It wasn't during a big argument. It wasn't after losing a job. It wasn't even after someone told me I hurt them. It was when nobody did. I was sitting alone in my apartment, scrolling through my phone, and I noticed something that felt off. I had messages, group chats, notifications, but none of them were for me. They were replies, reactions. Afterthoughts. I was included, but not wanted. And that's when it hit me. I had spent most of my life being tolerated. I wasn't a bad person, that's important. I didn't cheat, steal, or intentionally hurt people. I wasn't cruel. I wasn't loud, I wasn't toxic in the obvious ways. I was just disappointing. The kind of person who says, yeah, I'll do it later, and means it. The kind who starts things and doesn't finish them. The kind who promises improvement every January and quietly forgets by February. People didn't hate me, they just learned not to rely on me, and the worst part, I didn't notice for a long time. I told myself I was laid back, that I didn't stress about things like other people did, that I was going at my own pace. What I really was stagnant. The first real sign should have been my best friend Mark. We'd known each other since high school, did everything together, talked about big plans, big futures. One night after I flaked on helping him move for the third time, he didn't yell, he didn't get mad. He just said, hey man, it's okay, I should have known better than to count on you. He laughed when he said it, like it was a joke. I laughed too, but something in his tone stuck with me. A few months later, he stopped calling as much. Then texting, then replying. I told myself people grow apart. That was easier than admitting I was the reason. Regret doesn't usually hit all at once. It piles up quietly, missed opportunities, unfinished goals, conversations you should have had. I started noticing how people spoke to me differently than before. Less excitement, less expectation. At work, I was reliable enough but never considered for promotion. In relationships, I was nice but never chosen. In friendships, I was always invited last, if at all. And still, I didn't change. I told myself I would. Tomorrow, next week, after things settled down. They never did. The real turning point came from someone I didn't expect, my dad. He wasn't sick, he wasn't dying, it wasn't dramatic. We were just sitting on the porch and he asked me how my life was going. I gave him the usual answers. Work was fine, things were okay. He nodded, then said very calmly, you know, I thought by now you'd be further. He didn't mean it cruelly. That's what hurt the most. He genuinely looked confused. That sentence echoed in my head for weeks. Further where, further how, according to who? But deep down, I knew exactly what he meant. For the first time, I didn't promise myself vague improvement. I made it specific. I started waking up earlier. I stopped saying maybe when I meant no. I followed through, even when it sucked. I went to the gym not to look better, but to prove to myself I could commit to something uncomfortable. I read books I'd been putting off for years. I apologized genuinely to people I'd disappointed. Some accepted it. Some didn't respond. That part hurt more than I expected. Improvement is lonely. Nobody tells you this part. When you start improving, you realize how many bridges are already burned. People don't immediately trust the new version of you. They remember the old one. And honestly, they should. I had to sit with the fact that my growth didn't erase the past. It didn't undo missed birthdays. It didn't fix broken trust. It didn't magically restore relationships. All it did was make me aware. There was one person I hoped would notice, Mark. I reached out after almost 2 years, told him I'd been thinking about things about us. He replied politely, distant, civil. We met for coffee. I told him about how I was trying to change, about how I realized I'd let people down. He listened, then said something I'll never forget. I'm really glad you're doing better. I just wish you'd done it when it mattered. That was it. No anger, no argument, just truth. We finished our coffee, hugged, said we should catch up again sometime. We never did. Here's the part that's hard to admit. I did improve. Objectively, my life got better, more disciplined, more stable. More intentional, but improvement doesn't always come with redemption. Some doors stay closed, some people move on, some versions of you are remembered longer than you'd like. And sometimes becoming better just means becoming painfully aware of who you used to be. There was no triumphant moment, no applause, no big I made it feeling, just a quiet understanding. I became the person I should have been years ago and realized the cost of waiting. I still improve every day, I still try to show up, I still care deeply about being better. But some nights when everything is quiet, I think about how many chances I didn't take seriously. And that's the part nobody warns you about. Improvement feels good, but regret stays. I didn't fail because I couldn't change. I failed because I waited until no one was watching anymore.